Fate gave to the immensely talented dancer, actor, and athlete only 57 years of life. But what kind of life? Exciting, bright, dynamic, yet very, very short. Patrick was born in 1952 into the family of a ballerina and an engineer. His mom taught choreography at her own ballet school, and under her guidance, the boy and his older sister Vicky studied dance from a very young age. He has often won prizes and awards, all while being an excellent student at school. He also played American football, but had to give it up because of a serious injury. Yet back before it happened, he was also engaged in wushu, taekwondo and aikido. Patrick even had a black belt in kung fu. As a child he was teased as a mama's boy and bullied, so his mother decided to take him to this sport. And naturally, after he got his black belt, well, no one dared to hurt Swayze anymore. At ballet school he met his future wife, the ballerina Lisa Niemi. She was only 15 years old at that time, and he was 19. But they knew from the first glance at each other that this was fate. In 1972, the future actor moved to New York, where he studied at ballet schools. Patrick was a very successful dancer. He even danced on the same stage with Baryshnikov. But sports injuries were taking their toll, and the dancing career was over before it even began, thanks to Patrick's mother for reminding of another one of his talents from childhood. It turns out, in addition to everything, as a boy he also successfully played in a small TV series. Then Swayze began taking acting lessons, and soon debuted in the movie Skate Town. But the main film that gave Patrick the popularity was Dirty Dancing, released in 1987. This film, as we all know, became an instant classic and earned $213 million at the box office. As for Swayze, he woke up famous. There was money and fame. After all, in difficult times he had to work a lot. He had to work in a factory, at a store as a salesman, and even as a carpenter. For his role in Dirty Dancing, where his co-star was Jennifer Grey, the actor received $200,000 and a nomination for a Golden Globe Award. Later, the actor admitted that he was so inspired by the story that when he read the script he could not hold back tears several times. And in 1990, Patrick played another big role, starring in the drama film Ghosts, along with young Demi Moore. Interestingly, we could see Bruce Willis in the role of the ghost if he hadn't refused, giving the starring role to Patrick. In the early 90s there were more Hollywood projects: City of Joy, Fatherhood, Point Break with Keanu Reeves. Swayze performed all the stunt elements in the films by himself, including parachute jumps. The actor has never used doubles, but one day he fell on the set and broke both legs. Patrick recovered for a long time, but his sheer tenacity did the job. Swayze managed not only to walk, but even dance. And a fall from a horse in some magical way woke up his love for horses. Soon he began breeding them on his ranch in California. Patrick Swayze lived together with his wife Lisa till the end of his life. Yet the relationship was not always perfect. There was a real tragedy with which they could not cope. His wife could not carry a child. She miscarried several times, and then she was diagnosed with infertility. Patrick wanted children very much, dreamed of them even, but in spite of that, he did not leave his wife. Once the actor was even addicted to alcohol, hence there were constant wild parties and debauches. After all, it's hard to bear great fame calmly and not to break down. But one day his wife insisted on rehabilitation. All went well and Patrick Swayze was back to his normal self. Later, Patrick admitted that if it wasn't for his wife, he would never have been able to get out. At one time, fame and crowds of admirers turned his head. But luckily, the sobering help of his wife prevented him from getting star sickness. Besides, although he did make Lisa jealous by flirting with his movie partners, Patrick has always remained a faithful husband. But when he faced a real disaster, Lisa Niemi again did not go away and did not lose heart. No, no and no. Instead, she became a real guardian angel to her beloved husband. When Swayze found out about his terrible diagnosis, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He decided to take Lisa back to the altar, just like in the distant 1975. The actor went as far as to arrive at the ceremony on a white horse, trying to impress his wife. At the end of 2008, Swayze shared that he would soon be writing his memoirs. But in January 2009, the actor was hospitalized with pneumonia. In April, doctors reported that the cancer is progressing. And in mid-September 2009, Patrick Swayze was gone. He was 57 years old. According to a will made earlier, his body was cremated, and the ashes were scattered over the family ranch in New Mexico, where they bred hot Arabian horses and loved to relax together away from all the hustle and bustle. And that is all for today, guys. Subscribe to our favorite channel, leave your comments and do not forget about likes.